Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. Today we're tackling a digital dilemma I know we've all faced, but probably rarely stop to actually think about. I'm talking about the ongoing battle between our absolute love for sending animated reactions and the literal frustration of dealing with massive, pixelated files that take forever to load. We love the animations, but man, we hate the performance hit. So today we're going to fix that. We're mastering digital animation formats, their pros and cons, and the exact tools you need to optimize them. So, let's dive right in. I want you to ask yourself honestly, are you still relying on massive, outdated GIFs for your digital animations? Look, we all know the universal pain point here, right? A web page completely crawling to a halt because of a slow loading animation. Or, trying to upload a reaction image only to get slapped with a file size limit. We're living in a hyperfast digital world, yet so many of us are still using image tech from literally decades ago. It's really time to rethink our habits. All right, here is our roadmap for today. Section 1, Main Animated Formats. Section 2, Pros and Cons Comparison. Section 3, Choosing the Right Format. Section 4, Core Conversion Tools. And Section 5, Local Processing Privacy. Let's get to it. Section 1, Main Animated Formats. The 4 candidates of the digital world. It's time to decode the alphabet soup of image files. Let's meet the contenders. First up, the absolute classic, the GIF. Now, GIF is the undisputed king of compatibility. You can paste a GIF into an ancient forum, a super old email client, or practically any legacy chat app out there, and it's virtually guaranteed to play. But that rock-solid compatibility comes at a pretty steep cost. It's heavily limited to just 256 colors. What does that mean? Well, smooth color gradients are going to look blocky and banded, and the overall image quality really suffers. Plus, the file sizes are notoriously large, and it doesn't even support full alpha transparency. That's why you often get those ugly, jagged white borders around transparent images. Next on the list, we have WebP. And man, this brilliantly illustrates how modern web technology has evolved. Think of WebP as the lightweight champion for modern websites and fast-loading apps. It gives you incredibly high compression, meaning much smaller file sizes, while actually maintaining 24-bit true color. So you get millions of colors for photorealistic images, plus full alpha transparency. It is simply fantastic for modern web design. The only real catch? If someone's using very old software, a dynamic WebP might only show up as a static first frame. And yeah, it can sometimes require just a tiny bit more CPU power to decode than a simple GIF. Then we've got MP4. Yes, I know it's technically a video format, but hear me out, it's a massive player in the animation space. MP4 gives you the absolute smallest file sizes, but with superior video-level quality. And because it's a video, it supports audio tracks, and you can pause or scrub right through the timeline. It's incredibly powerful for social media like Reels and Shorts. The caveat here is that because it is a video, it doesn't just auto-loop everywhere natively like an image would. It often needs a little bit of extra website code to make it behave like a traditional looping GIF. And finally, if you're chasing absolute visual perfection, there's APNG or animated PNG. This is your high-fidelity choice, hands down. If you're working with modern, high-res displays and you need incredibly crisp edges, perfectly smooth gradients, and flawless transparent backgrounds, APNG is stunning. It fully supports 24-bit true color and 8-bit alpha transparency. However, that extreme quality means it can sometimes spit out larger files than a standard GIF, and its legacy compatibility just isn't quite as bulletproof. All right, Section 2, Pros and Cons Comparison, weighing the strengths and weaknesses. Let's move into the analytical phase and see how these 4 actually stack up against each other. When we weigh the strengths and weaknesses, some very distinct trade-offs emerge. If your top priority is universal compatibility for, say, emails or simple memes, you kind of just have to accept the 256 color limit and stick with GIF. But if you want extremely high compression for a super fast-loading modern website, you upgrade to WebP. Now, if you need the smallest possible size and you want audio for social media, you pivot over to MP4. And if you absolutely require high-resolution transparency without weird borders, you choose APNG, even if it costs you a bit of file size. See? It's all about navigating those distinct trade-offs. Section 3, Choosing the Right Format, Matchmaking for your specific workflow. Now that we know the players, let's talk about practical application. I really want you to think about your own daily workflow here and who your specific target audience is. Often, the choice comes down to a direct showdown. Legacy compatibility versus modern web speed. If you're dropping a quick reaction into a super strict corporate email client or an old forum, a GIF is guaranteed to paste in play, no headaches. But if you're a web designer aiming to keep your bounce rates low and your page speeds lightning fast on modern browsers like Chrome or Edge, WebP is going to give you drastically smaller files and significantly better colors. You've really got to match the format to the environment. So, to summarize our matchmaking advice, just keep these quick rules in mind. 1. Use GIF for short, simple reactions where compatibility is absolutely everything. 2. Upgrade to WebP when fast page loads are critical. 3. Switch to MP4 for longer clips when you need audio or for social video platforms. And 4. Choose APNG when visual fidelity and transparency simply cannot be compromised. Knowing exactly which format to deploy is going to instantly elevate your digital projects. Section 4. Core Conversion Tools. Translating formats with Rockyming. Knowing the right format is only half the battle, right? You actually need to be able to seamlessly switch between them. Enter the Rockyming platform, which is basically the ultimate digital translator. Rockyming empowers you with 8 core conversion pathways, and get this, they are all entirely free. This means you're never locked into the wrong format again. Want to upgrade an old, clunky file? You can enhance a GIF by converting it directly to a highly compressed WebP, a high-fidelity APNG, or a lightweight MP4. Have a video you want to share as an image? Boom! Convert MP4 to GIF or modern WebP. And crucially, they offer what we call compatibility fallbacks. If someone can't view your modern WebP or APNG, you can instantly downgrade it back to a universal GIF. You can move between formats flawlessly to perfectly match whatever your use case is. The workflow itself is ridiculously user-friendly and requires absolutely zero technical expertise. You literally just drag and drop your file, adjust your quality settings while previewing the original, and click Convert. Your newly formatted animation is instantly ready to download. It's totally frictionless. But there's a specific detail in that conversion process that's incredibly important, which brings us to our final section. Section 5, Local Processing Privacy, a secure sandbox in your browser. Honestly, this is a massive win for user empowerment, and frankly, it's exactly how all online tools should operate. Let's look at the privacy standard. I really want to passionately emphasize this quote directly from Rockyming standards. It says, all processing is done in your browser. No files are uploaded to server. Your privacy is protected as all processing happens locally. Think about how huge that is. You literally never have to worry about your sensitive images, personal photos, or unreleased project videos sitting on some random internet server just waiting to be hacked or harvested. 100%. That is exactly how much of the conversion happens right on your own machine. By leveraging the sheer power of modern web browsers like Chrome, Firefox, Safari, and Edge, the Rockyming tools create a secure sandbox. The files never actually leave your computer. You get all the convenience of a web app, but with the strict, locked-down privacy of a local desktop application. It's brilliant. And that brings us to the end of our format matchmaking journey. We've explored the legacy strength of GIFs, the pure efficiency of WebP, the media power of MP4, the stunning beauty of APNG, and those amazing privacy-first conversion tools that bridge them all together. So I'll leave you with this final thought. Which outdated format will you upgrade in your next digital project? Take this knowledge, optimize your workflow, and start creating faster, better-looking digital experiences right now. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.